Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Workwolf Wednesday webinar. We're going to get started in just a couple quick minutes. Excited to talk to everyone today. Looks like we got more people rolling in. How are you, Mike?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Excited to talk to everyone today.
Yeah. Should be a good one.
Set the stage for everybody. Both Mike and I are in Toronto. It's a nice day here. Weather's getting better, so we're excited about that. So we're going to wait another couple of minutes, and then we'll get rolling for everyone that's joining in. A little funny. You see more and more now people send in their own recording tools.
Yeah, the note takers. Yeah.
So it's just as many attendees as note takers. All right, guys, we'll get started in exactly 1 minute. We'll get rolling. We're just waiting for anybody else that's going to join. We'll go through it and we'll get started on our topic for today. All right, so let's get rolling. We'll get started into our topic for the day. Thanks everybody for joining. If people catch up or join in afterwards, we're going to have a recording that's sent out. We're also posting it on our YouTube channel as well. I think this is our third edition of our webinar, our Workwolf Wednesday webinar. And a reminder, after this one, we are going back to the first Wednesday of every month. So that will be there. We're also going to give a phone call reminder for a little while for those of you that are already Workwolf customers. And our next one is going to be really exciting, which we'll talk about towards the end of the call. So again, just some quick intros, just for most of you or probably know us already by now. Mike Nguyen is the Workwolf head of product, and myself, Madhav and Mike, from the sales side. Today, what we're going to talk to you about is job posting. We're going to talk about how to post jobs. We're going to talk about how to maximize your exposure to candidates. Your job posting success. We'll talk about job descriptions, connecting to careers pages. So that's what our game plan is for the day. So I just wanted to, as we get into this, I want to just make mention that a reminder of what Workwolf is. So Workwolf, it's a recruitment tool that's designed to help recruiting firms, hiring managers to quickly identify top candidates using different AI tools. So from a big candidate pool, if you want to find out using things like resume screening automation or personality filtering, how do I take 20 candidates or 1,000 candidates into a way more reasonable number while eliminating the need to manually go through resumes? So that's what Workwolf's focus is. It's not primarily a sourcing tool, although it's something that we provide to help. So it's something that we just help you do in order to get candidates and use a platform. But it's not the primary focus. I just wanted to make a mention of that. And with that, I think we should get rolling, Mike. So maybe, Mike, what we can start with is we'll talk about job posting status options. Then we're going to go through so we'll talk about the difference between free posts versus paid versus enhanced, what those mean. Then we'll go through some insights, market research. We'll talk about Indeed's hiring insights. We'll talk about use of screener questions. And then we'll just talk about just simple optimizations like job description optimization and things like that. Then we'll go through a quick Q&A at the end. So with that, Mike, why don't we get started? The first thing that we could do is why don't we go through some job posting status options?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll get started. I just have one of our pipelines open here. Yeah, like Matt have mentioned, first thing we'll start off with is just more clarification on what these statuses mean. I think some of them are straightforward, but maybe this one here with enhance, it's might not be as clear. So just kind of want to go over that and review that here. So just to start, we have 5 different statuses that you can have for a pipeline, and essentially everything from free, paid, free and above means that it's going to go out to the job boards. So we connect to multiple job boards. We have direct integrations with Indeed, LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Monster, and I think several other kind of free job boards. So in any of these three statuses, they're going to go out to these job boards and they're going to be made public, and you'll receive candidates. So starting with free, it just means that it's going to be published to all these job boards, and it will be for free. It's organic. You might not be getting a lot of traction just because it is a free job posting, and other sponsored or paid job ads are going to have priority over you. And that's where we get into a paid job posting. So if you've used Indeed or LinkedIn or anything, or ZipRecruiter, any of these other job boards directly, they have the option for you to sponsor the job. And that's essentially just putting money behind it, putting a set budget. Different job boards work differently. We primarily work with Indeed, and how they work is you have a set budget for a set duration. So let's say you wanted to spend $200 for 1 week. They'll spread out that spend across that week evenly. And it essentially kind of works the way like ads work. So you'll get cost per application essentially instead of cost per click if you're familiar with marketing. Um, so that's how that works, and that's what we would strongly recommend if you are urgently hiring and you need a lot of candidates right away. In terms of budget, in terms of like how much you want to spend and for how long, we're gonna cover that in a bit to kind of help you make that decision. But we have also a helper for you to kind of gauge how many, like basically how much you should spend per day if you want to receive a lot of candidates. The last option here for enhanced. So with your subscription, you have 5 enhanced slots. It essentially is a form of paid. Um, However, this is just a little bit more flexible. So you don't need to make the decision of how much to spend and for how long. These are just part of your monthly subscription. You get these 5 slots that you can move jobs in or out of, and not have to worry about, creating these campaigns every single time. It's just our way to help kind of boost candidates. So it's going to be better than free. Um, and yeah, so you can move jobs in or out. You don't need to use all 5 of your slots. If you just have one pipeline in your enhanced slots and the 4 are kind of remaining free, that means that all the budget that you would have had for all 5 of the jobs just go directly to that one job. So it is spread out evenly. You don't lose out on those other slots that you're not using. The budget that is allocated to those get kind of focused into that one job site. We had a question in, so D says, how long does it take for a job to be public and enhanced? So all jobs take about 3 to 6 hours to sync into all the job boards. So once you post it and it's live, any of these will get pushed out to the job boards. And it takes about 3 to 6 hours for them to have it go live.
So, and you, ND, just to build on that, like you don't want to be doing it too frequently either, right? Like if you make changes and you do it too quickly, like sometimes somebody will post like enhance a job and then maybe make a couple adjustments to the job description or the screener question. That can also cause a bit of a delay, right, Mike?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so any changes you make to the job posting or anything like that, the changes will be reflected in 3 to 6 hours. I do want to note that in our system, we built in a way where it automatically refreshes your job. So you can have a job continuously in free or enhanced and just leave it there and set it and forget it. And every 2 weeks, we will automatically refresh the job so it doesn't become stale. So if you go onto Indeed or your LinkedIn profile, you'll see the job, and it shouldn't ever say that it's older than 2 weeks. That's what we do automatically for you and for your convenience.
And sometimes we get asked, Mike, like people will ask the question, like, well, I was getting, X amount of candidates on Indeed. How much should I spend in Workwolf? Like, how do I do that? And just correct me if I'm wrong. Like, what you want to do is pretty much the same thing. Like, if you were spending, $300 a month, for example, on Indeed, and you were getting a certain candidate flow that satisfied your requirement, you would want to take that same budget and put it into a paid campaign with Workwolf. And the difference would be there that now you have the ability to organize all that data. So you don't need to click on every single applicant through the other tools that we've covered, you only need to focus on the ones that have what it is that you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if you're using anything in the past to source, like whatever your budget was for sourcing previously, you should continue to use that with Workwolf, but then now it's just going to be funneled into Workwolf, and then you can easily screen for the same candidate flow. So that's what you should be expecting. Um, we have a question from Mark that it was told that the budget for enhances refreshes every 2 weeks. Can we know that when the budget refreshes, and if the budget at the end of 2 weeks, does that job get no budget until the refresh? So the budget for the enhanced slots it's based on a monthly campaign, so it refreshes every month. Typically, so because we are using Indeed, they're spreading out that budget for the entire duration of the month. So most of the time, it should just as soon as it reaches a limit, it'll stop spending for that day and try to stretch out that budget for the month. There are some cases where we've seen where it towards the end of the month or maybe the last couple days, the budget is depleted. But most of the time, it's something that you don't need to worry about. Indeed is automatically stretching this budget throughout that month. And yeah, it will always refresh at the first of the month. Hope that answers
Sounds
your
good.
question. Yeah.
And then do you, Mike, want to go through any, like, before we go over to the hiring insights, anything else in terms of like urgency, competition level?
Yeah, so if you haven't posted on Indeed previously and you're wondering, how much should I be spending? How many candidates should I expect if I spend X amount? Let's say I spend like $100. How many candidates should I expect with that? And that's pretty common if you're hiring for a new role. You never put a budget behind it. Maybe like what we would recommend is always start with enhanced because it comes with your subscription already. And you can kind of get an idea of what a kind of not bare minimum, but an average spend would be, and what the flow is like. So if you put it in enhanced for a couple days and you're only getting like a few candidates, it's likely that that job is quite competitive, and you need to put a dedicated budget behind it to get the traction that you need, with the volume that you need. And so that is a good segue into what I was going to suggest is Indeed has a great tool called Hiring Insights. This is available to everyone, even if I believe you don't need an Indeed account or anything like that to use it. Um, but this gives you a great indication of how competitive a job is and in what location. So you'll type in the job title, which will also help you form or make any changes to the job title. Maybe you had a really long job title. It will automatically kind of fit it into the closest match, which will help you get more volume. So account executive seems to be fine here. Looking for in Toronto, and you can see it's quite competitive. There's about 400 jobs for 22,000 job seekers. So I should expect roughly about 57 applicants per job per month. And you can kind of get some more indication of the salary, which is something that we're going to be talking about when you're optimizing your job description. It's good to know like what the average salary is for this location so that you can put it in your job description and it always attracts more candidates. But this is a tool that's available for you and for everyone. You can put in any job title in here, the location, and just give you an indication. So it seems like this one, it probably won't perform very well just with enhanced, just because it is moderately competitive. It's if I'm okay with just leaving it to have passive candidates come through, it should be fine. But if I'm looking and I'm actively searching for an E and I need to hire within this month, this is where I'll probably put a budget behind it. Yeah. If anything else that I'm missing here? Oh, you're muted.
I was just going to add that this is a really good tool to use and to look at, especially sometimes we get questions around like job titles. Like, is this an effective title? Should I be changing a little bit? Like simple things like that. Like sometimes we'll see a title like, it could be an acronym. Sometimes somebody might just put AE instead of writing the word account executive. And that could make a big difference. Or, for example, right, Mike, that's the only thing I sort of mentioned is being aware of titles.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, if I do AE sales, I guess it just says sales. I don't even think it recognized what AE is. Um,
And
I don't
and then
know.
just yeah, just to add to just like you, everybody like Mike said has access to this tool. Mike, what we can share the link. Do you see where we can share it in an
Yeah,
easy
I
way?
added it to the chat. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll share this. No, I think it's good, Mike.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, just to kind of segue off of this. So, like I mentioned, this tool will also help you with finding that job title and then also give you some insights on like the average salary, how many job seekers um, you should expect. Oh, sorry, I think I messed this up. Exact. Go. I misspelled this. Okay, so just going back to the AE example. So you can see kind of like top employers to also search terms and keywords. And this is going to help you with just to have an understanding of what you can include in your job description. So maybe like it's also really closely related to an account manager. So maybe that's a keyword that you want to add in your job description. Um, Common employers, common locations. Okay, so going back to the job description and using the account executive for example, so an effective job description will have the salary, at least a salary range or even an estimate. It's also really strongly recommended by Indeed and other job boards. You get a significant increase in job applicants if you include the salary in your job description. Some other small additions. So essentially, what you want to think about with the job description is you're selling the job, and you want to include an introduction to the company. You want to add uh, benefits if you have any. But if you we're basically trying to sell this to the applicant and adding in even like the interview process just to keep them informed and understanding what the process is going to be like, adding a section about your company to give more information and selling your company. Um, these are all great additions that significantly impact the volume of candidates that come in. You'll see some drop off if you don't include these. So candidates will click into these job ads, read the job, skim through it, and just drop off and not actually end up applying if some of these sections aren't included.
And keep in mind that we have the AI generator to help you with the starting point if you don't have one made. Um, and it's also kind of worth noting, like Mike mentioned, benefits added. That's not necessarily monetary benefits, right? So keep that in mind. You can also just talk about things like if you go up a little bit, you see here hey, it's a complete onboarding program. You know, you're going to have access to the team, ongoing professional development. Like you're talking about things like how you're going to set people up for success. But again, so those are like in terms of benefits, like what's in it for you sort of thing is what we're talking about. So yeah, use it. Like if you have a great one, like there's tons of, we have a really good AI tool that you can use. And if you ever want us to look at it deeper, then just reach out to using the chatbot or reach out to our customer success team and we'll be happy to help you with it.
Yeah. So just moving on, another common question that we get, and this one isn't necessarily related to sourcing and improving your job posting or anything like that, but one important aspect of the job posting is screener questions. So we get a common question of like, when do we use screener questions and when should we use the smart resume screening, which is a very powerful tool that we have to evaluate candidates as they come in. So my general rule of thumb is that if there's something that may not appear on a resume or not consistently, like location, that is something maybe most resumes will have, like if the candidate adds in like they're located in Toronto or whatever it is, but it's not something that you can count on. So if that's a requirement, if location is a requirement, um, that's something I would add as a screener question. So that's something that the candidate will need to answer and provide with their application while they're applying. And so you can say, can you reasonably commute to our office in Toronto? You can ask for kind of the examples here, experience. So this one could be caught on the resume. Generally, you can find this on the resume because they're listing out their experience. Like, are you fluent in English? That's not something that you could really get from the resume. So this is something that you would probably ask in the screener questions.
Yeah,
We want to keep.
sometimes we sorry, Mike, I was just going to add that
Okay.
sometimes we have people that can also say things like if you're hiring for purely commission-based roles, sometimes people will ask those questions where they would say, "Are you comfortable and motivated by a 100% commission-based environment?" That's a good use of a screener question because you might not necessarily see that in automated resume screening,
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point.
right? Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just gonna say we do recommend that you don't add too many questions. We want to keep it probably if you are adding screener questions, keep it to maybe 3 or 5 questions maximum. Obviously, if you need more because all of these questions are priority, that's fine. But you will see some drop off in applications because candidates, when they apply, they need to fill this out in order to apply. So just keep that in mind. But sometimes, yeah, these questions are mandatory, and you need to, I guess, prioritize the items that don't appear on a resume. Another example that we've also seen quite common is using a screener question to screen out unmotivated candidates. So you can just have a generic short answer question like, "Why are you interested in this role?" or "Tell me a bit about yourself," and to just so that it just kind of screens out candidates that are not really motivated. In addition to that, we have the Pathfinder assessment, which also kind of indicates if they're going to be a motivated candidate. They're going to take the time to take the psychometric assessment that we have. Yeah. Any other notes, Madhav, for this?
No, I think it's all
No?
good.
Okay. The last thing I wanted to cover is just like the alternative methods of sourcing. So I mentioned before, we have those job boards. Those are automatically connected and integrated. So all you really need to do is just, change these different statuses, and you'll be connected already. In addition to that, what you could also do to help with, gaining more candidates is we have a direct integration with LinkedIn where you can just create I don't have my account connected, but essentially you would always just have to click on share and create a post, and it will send you over to LinkedIn with basically a template of what that looks like. And then you can hit post. So this will just post it on your LinkedIn profile. It's like, hey, I'm hiring for this role. Click here, and it will just send it's just a link to the job posting itself. We have a question coming in. When you pay, does it only enhance on Indeed? Yeah. So right now, I'll just quickly do a tangent. If you click on paid, we had these other options with Monster and ZipRecruiter in the past, but we had to stop that because we were getting enough volume in those. So right now, the only option is Indeed, and it also was our strongest recommendation. You Indeed had drove the most volume in for job applicants. But if you do need any other support for other platforms, let us know and we can re-add these platforms on. Just going back to sharing the job postings. So in addition to creating this post and posting on your LinkedIn, what you could do is create custom links or just copy this link. So this button here, you can see that the link is copied. This is just a link to the job posting itself. So this is what it will look like for a candidate. You can share this. They would start their application here with their first name, last name, email, and they can just easily apply it just like that. What this custom label does is that you can start creating unique links, and essentially it just kind of appends a URL parameter at the end. So let's say I'll create one for myself, like Mike, and then when the candidates apply, you'll see them come in through all these different sources. So here in Insights and Activity, you can see a breakdown of where all your candidates came from. So it looks like 87% of our candidates came from Indeed, obviously because they drove the most volume. But you can see kind of from all these different sources, we got some from LinkedIn, some from ZipRecruiter, one that Eric might have manually added in here. So we wanted to track that. And just a good way to track, I don't know if you want to create like separate campaigns, email campaigns, you can kind of track all of that here. The last thing on this, what you could also do is connect your careers page. So with your account, you have access to your career page. So you can access through on your dashboard. And you just click on career page here. And this is what it looks like. So we have 2 active jobs and candidates who go in here and apply. You have the option to either copy this link or you can embed this code into your website so that it's always connected. So all your jobs your active jobs will always appear there, and you can connect your company career page with Workwolf, and so you can direct traffic through there.
I just want to, and Dee, we'll get to your question. I just want to emphasize how important this is. I feel like a lot of companies of our customers already have it connected, but you just want to have a consistent experience for your candidate, right? If you think about a candidate that sees your role posted on, it could be any source, whether it's through a recruiter or it's through one of the job boards. Oftentimes they're going to go to your website first just to check you out. So when they check you out, it's good to have a way for them to click on your careers page and then apply to that job directly. It just makes for a way smoother candidate experience. So as a part of your onboarding, one of the first things that we recommend is getting your both your LinkedIn page connected, but then also your company's website's career page connected as well. And we can help you set that up.
Mm-hmm. Dee has a question. Is there a way to get a link to the post on Indeed and LinkedIn? So not through our platform, because Indeed doesn't provide that back or LinkedIn doesn't provide that back. But the easiest way to do that is go to your company profile on Indeed or LinkedIn, and the job should be posted there. If you don't see them or there's a specific role that you don't see, just reach out to support, and we can get you that link to that job posting. But it
Mike, you
does
want to touch
refresh
on?
every 2 weeks. Sorry, Madhav, go ahead.
I was going to say, you want to just touch on the labels for
Yeah,
if there's multiple
yeah,
recruiters? Yeah.
yeah. That's a good point. We've added this small feature just to help with organizing your pipelines. So this here for the label, you can add in anything here, and this is just strictly for organization. So this doesn't get attached to your job posting. Candidates won't see this. This is really only for you if you had multiple account executive roles, maybe all posting in Toronto, and there's no way to differentiate which one's for which. You can obviously assign the job to whoever is the hiring manager or whoever is kind of owning that job. But in addition, you can add a label. So say, I don't know, for recruiting, if you have multiple roles, you can say this one's for whatever client maybe. Yeah, sorry. Those are kind of the examples top of mind for me. All
Great. Are
right.
there any other questions? I think Dee may have had one more.
He said that she's tried and sometimes it doesn't see her jobs. Okay, I can reach out to you separately, Dee, and we can get that sorted out. But it should appear on your profile.
Are there any other questions? Just please feel free to type them into the chat. And as we're just waiting for those, I'm just putting in our code for, I'll try to do it at least, our code for the next webinar. So our next webinar, just so everybody knows, is really exciting. It's actually going to be a masterclass in Pathfinder that will be hosted by the creator of Pathfinder, Reese Lewis. So highly recommend joining this one. It will be on July 2nd. We'll send out the invite the same way that we've always done. You'll also get a call for that one too, but please stay tuned for that. You can also take a second to register for it now. So just key takeaways again, like if there's any other questions about the differences between free, paid, enhanced, we're happy to answer them. You can click on the chat bot within the platform, or if you have any immediate questions, you can also email support@workwolf.com, and we'd be happy to answer any of the questions that you have. I think that we are all good, looks like, and nailed the timing. So Dee, we will reach out directly, or Mike, what do you think? You'll stick on now? What helps?
Yeah, I'll reach out to
Okay.
Dee separately. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate the time today. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining. Take care.